More Motivation, the show that's designed to give you more happiness, fulfillment, and obviously more motivation. In this episode, we're going to talk about anger, 3 specific ways that you can handle anger if you ever experience anger. Now, a lot of people will tell you that, it's angry is the devil and you shouldn't get angry. I'm here to tell you that anger is a very normal thing, it's a very natural thing, but it's the way that you deal with and use anger that will ultimately kind of determine whether it serves you or hinders you in life. Several years ago, we're going back way back, like 15 years ago, I was working at a bar in Greece. And it was designed to be kind of an amazing life experience where I could kind of blow off some steam and have a beautiful time. But I remember spending a lot of the time out there feeling quite angry. I remember one point having a fight, having a few fights, in fact, several fights with several locals and also some tourists. And I'm not proud to say that, but on reflection, I'm now fully aware as to why that anger happened. And in this video, I want to kind of share with you that, if you feel anger, if you feel that it's a bad thing and it's a taboo subject and you shouldn't talk about it, then I'm here to tell you that there are ways to manage anger that can actually be really empowering. And it takes a lot for me to get angry now. I've got strategies in place that help me really deal with anger. And I want to really kind of say to those of you that are watching who are honest enough to be vulnerable and say you sometimes get really angry, things kind of grind your gears or kind of get your goat a bit. I'm here to tell you that these 3 things, if you apply them as common sense but as not necessarily common practice as they are, if you apply them, they're really going to help you to really release that anger in a really positive way that serves you. So the first thing that I really want you to think about in terms of anger is and something that you've really got to think about consciously. And what I want you to do in this particular video is think of maybe a past experience, maybe think of a past occasion where you got angry, because that's really going to serve you. And so for me, in terms of the experience of fighting in bars and flipping tables in Greece, the first thing that I really want you to think about is the internal cost. Now, what that means is you want to think about, firstly, what is it costing you emotionally to be angry? Now, for me, what often followed my anger once I'd really calmed down is a lot of remorse, a lot of feeling of guilt, a lot of kind of beating myself up, and a lot of not really feeling very good for quite a number of days. I found that I kind of wasted days, sometimes weeks at a time, where I just kind of made myself an emotional punch bag and just kind of really just beat myself up about that. And so the internal cost was self-esteem. I didn't want to go out because I felt ashamed. I felt judged. I felt like there was something wrong with me. And I really kind of put a lot of really negative labels on myself and effectively just kind of beat myself up and didn't feel very good. And that was not a nice thing. So you've really got to think about what is the internal cost of firstly being angry, and what is the internal cost of you beating yourself up when you're angry. So you really want to think about, if I'm angry, what is it going to cost me internally in terms of my spirit? It is my guess that your anger, if it's kind of shouting at the children or shouting at your partner or shouting at a colleague or even just in traffic, you kind of have some road rage, or you get angry in a supermarket because somebody cuts you up or steals your spot in line. What does that cost you in terms of your emotions, in terms of your spirit? Because one of the things I've learned about anger is no one feels good when you kind of verbalize your anger out or lash out at other people. It doesn't make you feel good. In fact, it makes you feel the complete opposite of good. So I want you to think about, what is the internal cost of you getting angry? Next, I want you to think about, what is the external cost? What is the external cost of being angry? So what that effectively means is, other than what it costs you in terms of your spirit, your soul, what is you being angry costing other people? Over the years, I've had, arguments with Sati. I don't mind, sort of admitting that. A lot of us, we have arguments, right? And there's been times where I've said nasty things and I've kind of slammed the door and kind of sulked for a few hours, and it doesn't make me feel good. doesn't make her feel good. And in fact, we found that we kind of look back because we don't really have arguments like that anymore. In fact, just before I recorded this video this morning, we had some conflict about something which I kind of remember, and it was resolved within about 45 seconds. True story. Like, it used to be hours, then it was a day, and now we're down to like 45 seconds where we can have some form of anger and we resolve it. And the reason why we're able to resolve it so fast is because we recognize that this is not going to make, and I was like, I'm filming later, and I don't want to waste anything longer than 30 to 45 seconds on this, because life is precious. And here I am doing these motivational videos. If I'm not able to deal with this quickly, who am I to stand here and do Miles's motivation, right? So I kind of, in wanting to be a role model, I went, well, anger doesn't make me feel good. Anger doesn't make the other people feel good. So if I get angry, I'm going to nip it in the bud and I'm going to resolve it super quick, because I recognize that one of the things that I value most in life is relationships with people, is relationships with the people that I love, is relationship with complete strangers. And so for me, I recognize that the external cost is I'm not being a good role model if I'm angry and doing it to other people. I'm not setting a great example. I'm not being an authentic coach if I'm angry and displaying anger towards other people. I'm not doing the emotional work that I allege that I am practicing every single day if I'm being angry and displaying anger towards other people. So you want to think about, what is it going to cost you? What is it going to cost you in terms of clients, business, relationships? So many relationships break down because of a lack of anger management. And if only people were to think about, what is this going to internally cost me? What will this externally cost if I continue this way, continue this pattern? So that's something I want you to think about. And then the last one that you want to think about in terms of managing and dealing with your anger is what I call the dashboard meaning. You know, when you're out on a drive and maybe your emergency warning light comes on your dashboard, that's a sign that either something is wrong or is going to be wrong with the car in the next few hours, few weeks, few days, etc. For me, if anger comes in after I weigh up the internal cost and the external cost, I'm looking for the dashboard meaning, which means I'm trying to work out, if this was serving me at a higher level, what would it be? So sometimes when I'm angry and ask myself the question, if this was serving me at a higher level, what would it be trying to teach me? The answer that comes up is, you didn't get enough sleep last night. Or sometimes the answer is, you ate too much sugar yesterday, and because your blood sugar's off, that's causing your mood to be irregular. Or it's telling me that you haven't meditated today. Or it's telling me you didn't do your personal development they said you were going to do this morning. Or you tried to cram too many things into the day, you've realized now you can't do it all, and now you're angry about that. So the lesson is, don't try and do as much in one day, right? So the dashboard meaning means, if anger comes in, weigh up the internal cost, weigh up the external cost, and then think about, kind of like life coaching yourself, why did I get angry? Oh, it's because he said this or she said that. No. Go deeper than that. Go to the dashboard that says everything is your responsibility and go, if I could go back and look at what was the cause that created the effect, because the anger reaction is just an effect of a cause, then what was the cause? Maybe my diet's not good enough. Maybe I didn't get enough sleep. Whatever it is, look at the cause and take responsibility for the fact that you can't physically have arguments with a white wall, therefore something in you caused that anger, right? Something inside of you caused that. So always take responsibility for it, don't just put it on somebody else. So that's it. 3 things, common sense, but not necessarily common practice. Hope you found them useful. If you have, click like, click share, tag your friends, tag your neighbors, whatever you want to do. I hope you found this video useful. There's a link below if you want to book a coaching call with me. For now though, Miles with Motivation, over and out. See you soon. Goodbye.